Okay, this is lesson 5, page 19, number 7. This one's pretty easy because your denominators are the same, so you just add up your numerators. Gives you 5. Add up your whole numbers. Gives you 5. And then your denominator stays the same. Now, because this is an improper fraction, you want to change it to a mixed by dividing. It's going to give you 1 1/4. And then you're just going to add that to the 5. So you have the whole number 1 plus the whole number 5. That's going to give you 6. And then all of this became 1 1/4. So now all you have left over is the 1/4. So your final answer is 6 1/4. For number 9, you have to find the common denominator because 3 and 11 are not the same. Your common denominator would be 33. And you find your equivalent fractions. 3 times 11 gives you 33, so 1 times 11 gives you 11. 11 times 3 gives you 33, so 5 times 3 gives you 15. Then you want to add up your numerators. 11 plus 15 gives you 26. Denominator stays the same. Your final answer is 26 over 33. Number 11, you have 11 and 2 as your denominators. Common denominator would be 22. Then you find your equivalent fractions. 11 times 2 is 22, so 6 times 2 gives you 12. 2 times 11 is 22, so 1 times 11 is 11. You're going to add up your numerators. That should give you 23 over 22. You want to change it to a mixed. You're going to divide 23 by 22. Top in, bottom out. Goes in one time. That's your whole number. Subtract. Your remainder is your numerator. And your denominator is going to stay the same. So your answer is 1 and 1 over 22. Number 13, your common denominator is, 12 times 1. No, 12 times 2 is 24. 8 goes into 24, so that would be your common denominator. Eight times 3 is 24. 7 times 3 is 21. 12 times 2 is 24, so 11 times 2 is 22. You're going to add up your numerators. Gives you 43 over 24. Let's go ahead and change that to a mixed by dividing. Should give you 1. And 19 over 24. All right, so your final answer is 1 and 19 over 24. Number 15, your common denominator is going to be 30. You're going to find equivalent fractions. So 10 times 3 is 30, so 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 10 is 30, so 2 times 10 is 20. Then you want to add up your numerators. Your numerators. 18 plus 20 gives you 38 over 30. And then add up your whole numbers. 6 plus 5 gives you 11. That's an improper, so let's change it to a mixed. Should give you the 1 plus the 11 gives you 12. And then your numerator is 8. And your denominator is 30. Now those are both even, so you can simplify that. We can divide them by 2, so you have 8 divided by 2 gives me 4. 30 divided by 2 gives me 15. So then my final answer would be 12 and 4 over 15. Number 17, they're just wanting us to simplify. Again, because the 4 and the 2 are both even, we can divide them by 2. 54 divided by 2 gives me 27. And then 72 divided by 2 gives me 36. Okay, now 3 can go into the 27 and the 36, so I'm going to divide that by 3. 27 divided by 3 gives me 9. And 36 divided by 3 gives me... Now I can see again that 3 goes into 9 and 12, so I'm going to have to divide that by 3 again. 9 divided by 3 gives me 3. 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. So my final answer is 3/4. Okay, number 19 says, in Willie's first 2 starts as pitcher for his baseball team, he pitched 3 2/3 innings and 6 1/3 innings. How many innings did Willie pitch in his first 2 starts? So we're just going to add those 2 fractions. You're going to add your whole numbers first. 6 plus 3 gives me 9. And then since the denominators are the same, makes it easy. You just add your numerators. 2 plus 1 gives me 3. Denominator stays the same. That's 3. Now remember, 3 over 3 is the same as a whole. So when that happens, make sure you change it to 1 and then just add the whole number to that. So 9 plus 1 gives me 10. So your final answer is 10 innings. Number 21 says, Lizzie is sewing a costume. The top part of the costume requires 7/8 yard of fabric. The bottom of the costume requires 3/4 yards of fabric. How much more fabric is needed for the top of the costume than the bottom? In this problem, you're wanting to subtract. So remember, your first step is to find a common denominator. Then your equivalent fractions. And then you're just going to subtract your numerators. 7 minus 6 gives you 1. Denominator stays the same. So she needs 1/8 yards more on the top than she did the bottom. Okay, go ahead and go back to page 17 through 20 and finish all the problems that I did not do with you or that you haven't finished yet. Once you're finished with that, you can go to the computer or work on your VMath Live. For now, we're not doing the extra practices anymore, so don't worry about that. Just work on your VMath Live and your workbook. And then you're done.